Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Miss and Mrs. Brightly. I'm Victoria, I'm 21 years old, and I'm, of course, again with my lovely mom.
So I am Mrs. Brightly. I'm 55 years old, based in Dubai. And Victoria and I, we are the founders of Brightly Labs, a wellness brand which takes care of your overall well-being. So we do booty bands and collagen and everything, but we will talk about it later. However, today we would like to talk about young entrepreneurs. And for that, we have an amazing, fantastic, fabulous special guest. And here we have Saloni. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me on this podcast.
Thank you for coming. So why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Saloni Hariyani. I'm an entrepreneur in Dubai. I run a fashion brand by the name of Saloni Hariyani, and we make custom clothing for men and women.
That's so amazing. And I met you on one of these meetings, and you really popped out because you had this amazing turquoise colored dress. So this was a gown of yourself?
Yeah, it was. I think we met the first time when we did the networking meeting.
Exactly.
And that was the first time. Yeah, I was wearing my clothes.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So most of the time you're wearing your own clothes?
Yeah, today I'm wearing my own clothes too.
I know, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the best way to brand yourself or like have people recognize your brand is like wearing it.
Yeah.
Even the first time I met you, you're wearing
I was
your
wearing,
own
yeah.
thing.
I'm most of the time wearing
but it's
my
good.
own
You
clothes.
represent your brand. You are your brand.
Yeah,
at the end
I
of the
am
day.
my brand. It works for me.
Yeah.
So how did it all start? Because Victoria did some research about you.
Yeah, I digged a
I feel like
little.
she did too deep.
And I found out you started Saloni
Yeah.
in high school.
So Sarani was actually, let's circle back. I was actually 12 when I first started like getting inspired and like getting into fashion. So I was merely in school, and my principal was like, how much art are you gonna do? Like, you got to figure out what you want to do with your life. And I'm like, I'm 12. I don't need to do this right
That's
now.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you've got to do something. So by the time I became 15, I did my first fashion show in my school.
Wow.
And that was the first time I debuted a collection that was called 50 Years Hence. So I was inspired by doing something with lights and fancy materials, unconventional materials. And that's initially when I launched Sarani. And I wanted to book that name in for the future, as soon as like I graduate high school or university. And I wanted to keep that brand. But as in when I kept like growing up, Sarani definitely became like just something that I had come up with in like 5 minutes, and it didn't like resonate with me at all. So I then decided to start Saloni Hariyani when I graduated like a university from New York.
Wow. That's so amazing. Why fashion? Is it in the family or?
Actually, no one in my family is close to like fashion or being an entrepreneur. I come from a family that's always like done jobs, salaried, very like they like a very secure like end of month. And for me, it was a decision that I took when I came here for a gap year. I was actually gonna move to Paris and do couture right after New York. And suddenly I actually got introduced to BNI, and I was like, okay, let me just spend some time here. I don't have anything to do for a year now. And as in when I started like spending time in BNI, people started to recognize that this is what I wanted to do. So a friend would order, their friends would order, and that's when I realized that like I need to do this. And the biggest thing that made me realize that I need to start this brand was myself. Like it wasn't any like, of course, like when you get orders from people, you tend to take that like route and just start a brand. But for me, it was I was going to BNI in like short dresses and like high school clothes, and that's when I realized like people weren't taking me seriously. Like they were ordering because they were my friends or anything. But when I joined, I walked in with a suit, my first ever suit. I think you've seen it, the one with the blue lapel, the black suit.
Yeah.
That was my first ever suit, and I walked into the meeting, and everybody was like, "Is that what you made?" I was like, "Yeah, I made that suit."
Stunning.
And that day, I realized that it changes the perspective of a person when you dress
Yes,
differently.
totally.
When you dress for what you're supposed to like do, that's when it turns like your personality upside down. You like right side up.
Amazing.
Right side up.
Yeah.
And that's the exact reason I started this brand, because I want to help people like realize that the way you dress depends on like how you're gonna sell. So yeah.
So it sounds all very glamorous and very exciting. So were there also times where you're struggling, or was it all like all sunshine and easy?
Well, it wasn't sunshine and easy, but I would say that you have to like nail the right wall, you know, like I feel like if you don't have a plan, it doesn't work. Like obviously when I started, like I'm not gonna say that I like had a whole like Excel sheet with what I was gonna do. 'Cause I'm not like that. I like to do things out of the wind. I like to like be spontaneous, and most of the times it works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. So my challenges in my business were definitely trying to organize myself, you know,
Okay.
like when you get a month of great orders but you don't know how long you should have taken the timeline off to produce them. So that was my major challenge in the business. And then you don't take in count for months that you like, you know, you can't push, because for me when I started it was just me, you know, like going and getting orders, going and running to production. To some extent it's still that, but if you don't have the structure, like you don't have the process like down to the T, it won't work. So that was my major challenge. Like
Wow. But you're
timelines,
21. It's like so
organization.
impressive. So you always had the
you.
support of your parents, and financially, how did you finance everything?
So my parents are incredibly supportive. My parents are, I think, I don't have the best relationship with them, but
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of like,
Closeness?
I am close to them, but I didn't grow up with them.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I spent around 10 years in a boarding school.
Oh, okay.
And when you move back in, like, and then after that, I went to New York to study at like FIT, and I spent 2 years there. So that's like 12 years in total that I was like away from my parents. And you go from talking once in 2 weeks to talking every single hour of your life. And it's a big change, because the first year I struggled a lot because I wanted that independence, I wanted that freedom, and I wanted to be away from them. So every time I got home, I would just, you know, be in my shell, lock the door and go back in, you know, like my little bubble right after work, because I was seeing so many people in the day. But like it started to grow into a relationship now, and my mom is like my backbone. Like I swear she will push my 100 on the days I can't push. Like
Wow.
if I have pushed 20 on one day, she'll take that 80 and she'll do it. Like I've had her pick my car, and she doesn't like to drive. She literally got her driving license and she hates driving. She's so scared of it. But whenever I can't do something, she'll take my car and she'll run to production, run and make a delivery. And that's definitely something I appreciate. On the terms of like overall support, business management, my dad takes care of it. Like there are so many times in my business that I have to make difficult decisions. I think everyone's
Absolutely.
business has to make difficult decisions. But when you have someone who like not only just loves you but also wants to look at it with like a logical head, you need your dad. You need him to, you know, just tell you that, okay, reality is about to hit. If you don't like hang on, like, you know, find a rope to hang on to, like it's gonna all just go away.
Wow. But it's
Yeah.
impressive, really. You know, even so, you're a single child, or you have sisters?
I'm a single child. I give you single child energy.
No, but we love your energy.
Thank
And
you.
like I told you, or we told you, you're our first special guest in this series. And so
exciting.
we wanted someone who has this like positivity. And I think that's really also stands out with you.
Yeah.
Whenever I met you, you always like bubbly, talkative, like you fill the room with joy. And I think that's remarkable and really amazing.
Thank you.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But as a 21-year-old and woman in business, do you think you struggled with things like in a way that people don't take you seriously, or you had to
Yeah.
work harder than other people?
Definitely. I mean, when you're 21, and you're sitting in a room full of people who are like twice your age. And I'm not gonna lie, like half my BNI chapter is twice my age, and actually all of it. Like I'm twice my age. Like I feel like initially in the first couple of months, I struggled with them just, treating me like a child, bullying me around. And it's common, like when you walk into a room where people adore you like a baby and everything, you're not taken as seriously. And I still struggle with it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm still 21, and every time I walk into the meeting and they're like, "Oh, how old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 21." Still? Like, it's been a year. Like, it feels like 3 years you're 21, and I'm just like, no, it's the same amount of time you've been like 30. So I think that's one thing with business. Nobody noticed that I was taking my work seriously when I had to do it. So I had like friends who then turned into clients who would walk into my store and do my consultation with me, and they were like, "Why are you so serious?" And I'm like, "Because this is what I do. This is my place of work. Like, I can chat up with you, talk to you about Pilates all day long, but when it comes to like seriously like making your garment, I'm making sure that I'm listening to you. I'm doing what is like needs to be done." And they were like, "Oh my God, we didn't know that
this side of you.
We didn't know that you had the serious side." And I was like, "Well, I feel like you because you have like a bubbly personality, anyone who does, like they struggle to, like keep up that professional side, because sometimes you just want to be comfortable with the people you love and the people who make you feel like, comfortable and adored, but you need to find a balance where they have to take you seriously when it comes to that. It's like that. I know it's not related, but the boy and the fox story, when it actually comes to seriousness, nobody comes in. So I had to find a balance. I had to find a way to be around people, but keep my like emotions and that side controlled. It's very important, because I feel like the more I baby around with these people, the more I get comfortable, the less seriously I'm taken. So now I'm not uptight, but I'm a little cautious of what I'm saying.
I think you had similar experiences with your old job, where you were always so friendly and so nice, and then people stopped taking you seriously, and they use that. They take advantage of your niceness and your happiness, and
it's taken for granted.
And
I when I reflect back when I was younger, I felt always in Germany, because I obviously most of my career was in Europe, that as a young person, or especially a young successful woman, you always had to prove yourself twice as hard, and you had to work as like much more than my male colleagues, and it's so refreshing to hear, and also to see with you, Victoria. You stand up for yourself, you don't allow to be bullied around, and you have that confidence to push back and say, "Hey, hello, I have to be taken seriously." And that for me, it wasn't the same, and even when I, like you rightly said, when I came to Middle East and I worked for one big Indian-led corporation, I was the only female and the only European woman in like on board level, and I was not, I was delivering one of the best performance, but it was not recognized as much as my male colleagues,
It's that Asian culture of having, like I mean, I'm no one to talk about this, but we have to push ourselves.
No, but this is why we want to start, or we have started this series to invite women, female, young, especially you are for me probably one of the youngest female entrepreneur, and very strong, and so this was the reason why we want to obviously encourage our listeners and male and female, to be inspired by the power you have, the energy and also focus. You go forward, and I'm very, very curious as well to see what's next. What's coming up, because 21, obviously you have
A
You're-
lot to go, yes.
Yeah. So what is your dream? What are you aiming for? What
So
is
I
the-
definitely want to still stay grounded with the idea and the ethics of this brand, which means that it is for people who want to feel confident. It is for people who want to tweak a few things in their style to, upgrade their personality. And it'll always stay that. But we're going to find different ways to do it on a larger scale. I want to start reaching more people, because right now my brand stands at a point where I'm reaching to everybody personally, and I can do that to an extent, and so we're launching soon. We're trying to launch an online brand with a variety of options to customize your clothes, because it's not easy in today's day to online shop and not find the right size, not find the right way to order. And so we want to incorporate that on our page, where we show you how to order it, we tell you what kind of sizes would fit you, and if you're tall, if you're short, you get all these options just to buy an online product. And that makes it so much easier, because in today's age people love online shopping,
Yeah.
but then they end up with these packages of clothes that feel so bad in like quality or don't fit right. So, and then they have complaints about like wrinkled clothes, or clothes that they can't like wear to work because they're always crumpled.
Yeah.
And so I want to make a brand where all these things are eliminated. Like on the Saloni Hariyani page, down 1 year, you'll see products like pants that would perfectly fit you, how to order them and everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's really
It's an
cute. I
initiative,
like
because
that.
I actually struggled with gain and loss of weight right after high school. I wasn't like, I used to be a sports person all my life. So I played basketball for like 8 years of my life. And suddenly in New York, I gained like 20 kgs.
Wow.
And
How
it
come?
was just like, like I wasn't eating out. I was eating home cooked meals, but I just wasn't eating the right nutrition. And I wasn't working out, because my body was used to 4 hours of workout a day and sports a day. And then I went to 0. So definitely in terms of that, I just gained so much weight and I was unhappy. Like nothing fit. There was a time I used to walk into like Zara and buy clothes that were like small, and I wouldn't even try them on. And then 1 year later, I was walking into Zara and I'm like size 40 and doesn't fit. And you're like, my hips are too big, the waist is like not like right. And that's when I was like, well, that has to be a solution.
Yeah.
And there are like 90% of the women struggling with the same thing.
I
Even
know,
if they're
yeah.
like small in size, they're struggling with it. And I think that's where like customization came into my head. Like I started wearing custom clothes. So everything that I wear is what I want people to realize, that I wear them because I'm comfortable. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just so damn comfortable in my clothes.
Yeah.
And I can make you feel the same way. Yeah.
We have it a lot, right? When we go to
Yeah,
these
we
big...
hate Zara.
Oh, it's so stressful. Oh my
It's
God.
like, first of all, you feel fat in the store.
I know.
Because the sizes are not what they are. Because I would go anywhere else and I'm a medium to large. I go to Zara, I'm like an extra large. I'm like, and then you sit there in a changing room, you're like, nothing fits, and then your hips don't fit right.
But you know why that happens, right? So I'm probably going to get banned in fashion for saying this. But they fit it on a skinny model. And then they size up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't take into consideration that when you gain weight, your hips get bigger, and
Yeah,
then
you gain weight from every side.
Yeah.
For women, like people don't realize, but we have so many body types. Like I know for a fact, because in our store we analyze your color palette and your body type, but there are just
I want to
so
come
many.
do the color palette thing.
Yeah, we should definitely
Where they see
do
which
it.
color suits you better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I really want to do that. I
We
see
do
it on
that.
TikTok, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
do.
Because there are some shades of colors that make
Yeah.
your under eyes darker, your skin look pale and stuff. So definitely that. But again, there are so many women struggling with this that there needs to be a solution for it. And not every custom outfit has to be as expensive as, like you feel like, this is the funniest part that I struggle with my brand is there are women who will ask about my brand and they'll be like, oh my God, like you do this and stuff, you might have the biggest like price point. And I'm like, no, who told you custom outfits are like super expensive?
But that's what
It's-
I would think as well.
Yeah,
My brain would go to
everyone.
that.
everyone thinks that customizing an outfit is expensive just because the idea of it has been made that way. But there are ways to, you know, like find your outfit in a much reasonable price in terms of customization. You know, you can choose different fabrics and stuff. But I'll explain to you why it's like it sits a little higher than a Zara or sits a little bit higher than one of those street brands, is because it's much more like complicated to produce, because we only make like all these clothes once. So for us, it's like we're not mass producing, so we wouldn't have that kind of facility to just cost cut like down to, you know, like unrealistic levels.
But also you don't make fast fashion like Zara. You know, you make pieces that you're gonna have in your closet forever.
I'm telling you, you've seen my
Yeah.
black suit. That suit is like a year and a half old.
And you can wear it forever, because a black suit is not gonna go out of style.
It's not.
And if you have something a bit more unique anyways already, and not something that is trendy right now, you can wear it forever.
But that's the thing, like as fashion designers, what we learn, and the first ever thing that my mentor told me was, you need to make collections that are 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in your head, that whatever clothes you make should be valid and should be in trend 10 years later. You can't be like, just because pink is popping, I'm going to make that outfit. But doing that solely for people has helped me so much, because I see that, you know, people wear that garment from last year to now and they're like, it's still fresh and new, because we try to use like really good fabrics for them. We try to make sure they're perfectly to their size. And then we also do their custom alterations as and when they lose or gain any sort of weight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that as well. Now, you're from India, right?
Born in India, yes.
Yeah. Do you take your roots or your culture into your fashion as well sometimes, or
This
not
is a
really?
tricky question. So I grew up in India, yes, but I can't like proudly say that I've had an upbringing of an Indian child, because growing up in a boarding school, you don't get every piece of the culture. You have people from all across the world living with you, and you're like, there's just too many cultures to accommodate. You know, if you do one culture too much, the other one feels not given enough. And all of these are young people. They haven't learned anything from back home and brought to us. So the only thing that I've learned about the Indian culture is art. And like parts of it where I can take inspiration from. We have great architecture in India. We've got great places to visit. And as a young child, I did visit all these places. So definitely, whenever I am making clothes, for me, it isn't just the Indian culture, but it's culture from all across the world. Studying in New York City opened my eyes to a new sort of fashion. Living in Dubai opened my eyes to a new sort of people, personality. And that's what I take in consideration when I make clothes. It's not one culture, but it's all the cultures that I've been through. And I think that's what helps me.
No, I love that. Also, being in such an international place like Dubai,
Yeah.
it's I think it really, really helps.
Yeah, it's very multicultural here.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that. You know, you never, in India, I wouldn't be sitting with you guys and, you
Yeah.
know, chatting, because that doesn't happen there.
Yeah.
Plus I grew up in like a mountain like village. So for me, it was like 24/7 in a campus. There was no communication from outside world. We didn't have our phones. We weren't very political. We didn't know the news. So
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, growing up in a boarding school will give you independence, will give you all the ambition in the world. So I say, like, if you want to send your child to boarding school, yeah, 10 on 10. Send them. But you're
I think
going
it
to struggle
depends.
with all the other things. Like, you're going to give up parenting. You're going to give up giving them, like, you know, good gist of the outside world, the culture, religion. All of these topics are not discussed in, you know, schools.
In a boarding school,
In a
yeah.
boarding school, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So you're planning to stay in the region, or are you planning to go again and like move somewhere else? What is the plan?
For the next couple of years, I'd definitely be in Dubai.
Okay.
Because I'm very inspired by this place, and I definitely see that doing business in Dubai is one of the best things, because you can start anything in Dubai and it works. You know?
Exactly.
Like, you can start a business with, I mean, unless it's like unrealistic and there's no demand for it at all.
Yeah.
But if you start a business here, it works. And I want to stay here and I want to see what Dubai's got for me, and and then
Amazing.
explore the world. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely see myself in the next like 5 years traveling a lot, because I want to build on that cultural aspect. I want to see different places. I recently had the opportunity to go to Uzbekistan.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that,
With the
yeah.
chapter. Yeah. Nice.
And that
Nice.
trip was beautiful. I feel like I came more inspired than ever. It was, there's just, they don't have their own history. It's history they've borrowed from all the other countries, like
Really?
Turkey, India,
Okay.
all these neighboring countries that they've picked their culture from. Like Islam to their country came very recently, like a couple 100 years ago. And just hearing and seeing all these things, it was just beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
You stayed for 4 days, right?
Oh yeah, we stayed for 4 days.
Yeah, fabulous. So let's wrap it up slowly. So anything you want to share for young women or even older women in being entrepreneurs, self-employed? What is it, what you say, what is most important for
I
them?
think you need a good circle of people. For
Yeah.
me, I solely depend on the people I'm around, because like you hear like you're the best of the five you're around, and my five is all different people. My best friend's a 19-year-old. My closest friends are my BNI friends, and then I've got different sets of people, like circles like you, that I spent so many days with outside of like everyday things, and everyone is something you learn from. And if you don't keep that change in your life, you're not going anywhere. If you spend the day with the same one person, you're not getting anywhere. So for me, it's like, make your network as big as possible, meet as many people as possible, and keep working with everyone. Like
Yeah.
everyone, it's not business. It doesn't have to be business at all. It just has to be something that fuels your soul.
Yeah.
Like you could be an introvert and still have so many friends,
Yeah.
because they fuel you,
Yeah.
fuel your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I meet you guys, we're all so like high energy,
I know.
And I love it. I swear, I feel like I get so happy. Like even the meetings that we used to go
Yes.
to on Wednesday mornings.
Yeah.
Trust me, that used to be like my like my
Go
Tesla
to,
charger.
yeah.
Literally, all these things like are like my batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? One point always stuck with me, with Victoria said to me, because obviously you're very right. You have to always see and have good people around you. But then sometimes people change or you grow. And then one of your my favorite sentences is
Yeah.
now, what is it?
It's if you're the smartest person in a room, find another room.
Yeah.
It's not my quote. I've not
No,
invented
I
this.
agreed
Someone
with-
said it, but
But she always, and it really helped me, because yes, I have been many times in my life entrepreneur myself, but then you outgrow sometimes your circle, and I think this is where also BNI is super helpful, because you expand and you learn new people and new
Yeah.
people, and then some people will leave your journey, some stuck a little bit longer with
Yeah.
you, and hopefully many stuck a long time with you, but then you will have a coming and going, and I think that's super important as well, to allow that change, and when you feel there is, the team around you doesn't support you anymore, because when you grow, a lot of jealousy comes along too,
Yeah.
and people don't necessarily always have the best ambition around you. So then it's really, and I share this sentence a lot to other people, and they're like, really, yeah, you're right. It stuck with me too. If you're the smartest person in the room, look for a new room.
Yeah,
You
or
know?
have like 10 mini rooms, so you can, when you feel like you need that little ego boost, you walk into and you feel like you need to level up, you walk into
Yeah,
the room
exactly.
where everyone's smarter.
Yeah,
but I
very
think
good.
also being in the smartest room, it makes you grow as a person.
But you just
know?
can't forget that sometimes it comes with like its challenges, like complexities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find a way around it. So you can't be in a room where the smartest people aren't helping you.
Yeah.
So they have to be smartest people who can help you grow. For me, my smartest room of people would contain people who are like similar to my age, growing at a very fast pace, also having people who are like twice my age,
Yeah.
because these people will mentor you. They have nothing against you. I'm telling
Exactly.
you. Like most of the times when I sit with someone older than me, there's so much I listen to. Like just listening to you right now makes me feel like, oh my God, like we need to spend so much more time together. We already do spend a lot of time together, you know? And so for me, it's like as much as stories you can hear, the more you learn, because you never know what you can pick from them.
I wanted to go back quickly to what we were saying before, that I think our generation is different to your generation. I think us as 21-year-olds, we don't let people treat us badly. We don't let people tell us what to do. Do you like struggle with that sometimes, like knowing when to be quiet, or like...
Are you
You know?
struggling sometimes with this?
Yeah. Really? Well, in
you know?
terms of what?
In terms of when people like to know when not to fight back, you know?
Yeah. So I come from an Indian family. It's
So you don't
like,
fight back.
it's not a thing.
Okay.
No,
So
but
what do
I
you mean?
fight back.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, if my dad's yelling at me,
Okay.
but that's not a good thing. Definitely not something that, you know, I'm proud of. But I've struggled with high temper. I've struggled with responding too quickly, not thinking in my head. But it comes with maturing, because I see myself 1 year ago and I would get like pissed at anything. You moved my basketball in my room, I'm pissed. You moved my pant from my rack, I'm pissed. You know? But I realized that there's no reason to be pissed. Like, it's okay to calm down, to listen. Because at the end of the day, you're not achieving anything by fighting with people around you,
Yeah.
or like, you know, rebelling back and forth with people. Like, I mean, we stand a good ground. Like, it's okay to stand your ground, but don't rebel back. Like, it's okay to let it go, because they grew up very differently than us, and we're growing up very differently than them. My parents have been kind enough to give me that space to grow up, and so has your mother. Like,
Yeah.
I see that, like, for a fact that like your mother has given you the space to grow up.
Yeah, definitely.
And you need that. You know, some mothers can get really controlling.
Yeah.
Like, you have to grow up how I want you to grow up. And like, that's not how it works.
No.
And my mom used to try that when I was, you know, a little bit younger. And she'd be like, no, you're not doing it right. Like, this is not how people behave. But now she's like, no, you go out, go date, go meet people. Go have a boyfriend. My dad the other day was like, you should go and get a boyfriend. I was like,
You're like, what?
absolutely not.
This is a subject that you both should share, you know. The finding a boyfriend is, I think it's another challenge you have nowadays, you know.
No, but seriously, like, parents nowadays are really like, if you are happy in whatever way you would want to live your life, live it. But just they'll try to always, you know, make sure that like one string is attached so you don't fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we get bothered that string is attached and we just want to get rid of that string. You know, you're just like, please let me just cut it off, like, it's in some sort of way. But I'm like, no matter how much I fight with my dad about like cutting that string, I'm glad he has it, because I know for a fact that, like, you know, like, for whatever reason, if I ever fall down, he will pull it back up.
I think we're very, very blessed because we don't fight a lot. I think we fight maybe
No.
once a year.
Yeah.
We don't.
But
we
you
don't.
always also, when she raised me, was always, okay, do your own thing. Go do what you want to do. Learn from it. She was never like, these are all your rules you have to follow. It was like, go do it and you will learn from it on your own. And she
Yeah.
was always right.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, like, she would tell me advice or tell me not to do this, and I would still
it.
go do it. And then it would happen exactly like she said it would. And then,
But I would allow
that's how I
it.
learned.
Yeah.
You know.
And then she
So
would
did
be
my
there.
dad.
She
I feel
wouldn't.
like you and my dad get along on this topic a lot.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be there and be like, oh, well, I told you no. She would be there, okay, pick me up again and say you've learned from it. And then I will never do it again. And I never did. So that, I think that
people
also
just
made me
learn from their own
stronger.
mistakes,
Yeah.
No, we were very tolerant to each other, and I want them to feel, and I always was there. I always say to both kids, to Lucas as well, you know, I'm their safety net. You know, I want them to do their own thing, but if it comes down to being in trouble, please come to me. I'm helping, you know, and I always did. There's
You have
never,
to share.
yeah, and we never, you know, some other parents, they say, so how do you penalize your children? And I'm like, I don't, we have a conversation, we talk about it, what went wrong, and then we just move on, and it was really important after having a conversation to give a hug and, tell each other we love each other, and then we just move on. We don't hold grudges. So we're just really easy moving forward. And so, we're quite blessed.
Anyways, what do you have coming up? A new collection? I think I saw some posts.
So we recently launched our menswear. This is something that we weren't concentrating on, even though most of our clients are menswear. I've been blessed to dress so many men. Obviously, men don't struggle with similar issues like women. So for us, it's body type and how we feel in clothes. But for men, it's completely different. They just don't know what to wear. Like, I swear to God, I have so many friends, men, who are walking into BNI meetings with jeans. And you know how much I'm against that.
I know, you came to our meeting and you were
I came into the Falcon meeting and I was like, you guys are wearing jeans. This is like...
But I think sometimes it matches. I think people do look at what you wear. But for example, the guy who was in jeans and a jeans jacket, he's a marketing guy. He does websites. His office is really cool and edgy. But in our chapter, I think it's different, because in our chapter, everyone comes more representing them. Yeah. And it's okay. And that's fine.
And that's okay.
And in your chapter is more
formal,
which is also fine. But it's different worlds a bit.
I think that's the thing. For me, I'm not against any sort of outfit. You can wear whatever you like. But what I concentrate on is where you wear it. For someone like one of my most recent clients works in construction.
Okay.
And his company is super huge, but he still goes day to day on his site and he has to be present. But he forgets that he's a business owner and he cannot show up in jeans with cutouts and unironed shirts. I mean, for him it might be comfortable, but that's not what people look at him as. So you could be a marketing guy, and you could wear jeans, you could wear the most fanciest jacket as well, but as long as you walk into a room of people and you are taken seriously with what you wear. So I recently took him on a personal styling day out, and we got him a bunch of different outfits curated for him and some personal pieces picked out from a couple of different brands. And he realized suddenly on the same day that he was a changed person, that there is a way of wearing jeans and there is a way of wearing your favorite t-shirts, in a manner that still portrays you at the position you hold. And for me, majority of my brand holds just that value. Be yourself 100% wherever you go. Represent what you're trying to represent. You don't have to wear uniforms. You just have to wear something that reminds people of your style. There are some people who wear significant colors. There's a guy in my chapter who loves orange. His car is orange. His company logo is orange. His tie is orange. His pocket square is orange. And you see that resonates with people. There's a reason why high fashion brands have colors. Burberry just made ultramarine their newest
corporate color.
And our color has been ultramarine since we started the brand as well. And that reminds people, Bottega has green. That reminds people.
Hermes is orange.
Hermes is orange, exactly. So it reminds people that these signature colors. So as people also, you can wear one signature color or one signature style. Yeah. And people recognize that. Yeah. I have a style of wearing my own brand, but you'll always see me in similar silhouettes. You'll always see me in styles that fit my body perfectly. Yeah. And that's what I want to do with people.
Nice.
It's like aqua.
Yeah.
I tried. Because the corporate color for Bridal Labs is also aqua. The Tiffany's blue. So I always have something. I'm wearing in that color. So that's my signature.
Okay, so
I see your waterline.
Yeah.
That's my signature colors in my eye.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, a bit of a fun question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite and most crazy piece you've ever done?
My most favorite piece is, I'm actually going to mention my first ever piece that I created. Well, I first sewed my garment when I was 12. So the first ever garment I made was when I was 12. But my official, like with the right techniques and everything, was a garment that I made at FIT New York. I actually, this is a crazy story, and I'll keep it short, but we had a CFDA mentor in America. CFDA is the biggest platform for fashion funding and everything.
Okay.
So we had advisors from CFDA come into Fashion Institute of Technology, the university I was studying in. And we had a month and a half with them to get mentored and make a garment.
Nice.
Wow.
And so the initial meeting, we showed them sketches and everything. And I remember my mentor from CFDA was like, "You're never going to be able to make this."
Okay.
And we were in my draping class, and that's where they come in. And I was like, I can make this. And I took that to my heart. I was like, oh my God, like,
You can't tell me I can't make
what to
this.
do.
I can make
You know?
Uh-huh.
And I discussed with my teacher, and I was like, I really want to make this. And if you look up on my Instagram, the blue gown.
The gown? Where you're also outside in front of buildings? I've seen this,
The first ever gown I hand sewed, and it was everything start to end the way Parisians do it. You know, I used around 68 yards of fabric on that dress, and it took me around $3,000 to produce it.
Wow.
Like just solely to produce it. So when people say why couture garments expensive, I'm not even calculating labor here.
Yeah.
And it took me a month and a half to create. And on the final day, the CFDA mentor walked into the class, and he was like, "You didn't make this." I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah.
There's a video that proves that I made this dress. He's like, "I don't believe it." He tells my teacher that I don't believe she made this.
Okay.
And he didn't select me for the CFDA award.
Oh my God.
And I know for a fact that that dress was the biggest and the most hard work dress in the class, but who am I to decide that? But the school recognized it, and there was a board of teachers who decide which other garments get selected for the exhibition to display on our main on the main hall. And they selected mine. And I remember it was 2 people from the class, CFDA and 1 designer. And I was so happy that at least it was recognized, and everybody told me that it was a 4th year garment that I made on 2nd year.
Wow.
So
amazing. I'm like getting like
goosebumps.
chills.
Yeah.
So definitely that's something that I, as a designer, I will always look back on. Like, my favorite thing to do is create pieces that are challenging, pieces that not necessarily have to be unconventional, but they just have to take enough of your passion and hard work.
Nice.
Very
Amazing. Yeah, sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So I think we had a really nice conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
guys,
coming.
you guys fill my heart whenever I
Oh,
come.
you fill our hearts. We were so excited to have you. We knew you'd be like so much energy, and you're also so inspiring, you know?
Thank you.
Really, as a 21-year-old in business, starting your own thing. You live here alone, right?
No, with my parents.
With your parents.
Blessed.
Yeah. No, but I think it's super important, and we wanted to, to give you also that platform to be seen and really to inspire girls and young women to, everything is possible. And like you just proven with your last story, it's about the mindset, that you really have to focus and not being told that you can't do it, because that's actually was the motivation, the drive for you to make it happen. And that's so inspiring. So thank you so much for your time, for being here today, sharing your story with us. It's really amazing. And that's for today. And we very much looking forward to see you next time. We are having a lineup of other amazing women which are going to share their story. So stay tuned and see you very soon.
See you.
See you. Bye.